Hey, friend, and welcome back to the Freedom Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Lindsay Sutherland, and I just want to say thank you for joining me. Happy Monday. We are in part 2 of our weeding out the legit from the shit conversation. Part 2, episode 2. Part 1 was our very first episode. And last week I talked about a PRL scam, I guess you could say, illusion. I like the word illusion better because it's not so much a scam as it is an illusion. There is truth to what they're saying, but there is more illusory things. And I go into that in last week's episode. So if you want to check it out, please do so. Today, I want to talk about social media and weeding out the legit from the shit. There is a lot of false narratives about social media, and there's simply one truth, and we're going to get into that today. So thanks for joining me. Let's kick it off. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show and be sure to leave a review. That certainly helps boost our rankings and lets other people get this amazing content. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe to this show on whatever podcast player you prefer and follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Hey friend, it's Lindsay. Pause with me for just a second. You're listening to this podcast right now, and maybe you've listened to it dozens or hundreds of episodes. Maybe you've just even done all the things. You've bought the courses, bookmarked articles, joined the Facebook groups, all because you know you need reoccurring income. It's something that's been weighing on you for a while. You might have heard me talk about it, the someday dream. Well, we're going to make this the today action. It's time to get moving. And here's the thing. You've got all the information at your fingertips. And the fact of the matter is you don't need any more information. You're drowning in information. What you really are starving for is clarity. Everybody in the world is teaching you what to build. And YouTube is full of how-tos, but nobody is helping you figure out which one fits your business, your lifestyle, your actual audience. Which model makes sense for you? How do you know if people are going to pay for it? Where do you even start? Those are not questions that another podcast episode can answer. You, my friend, need clarity, and that's what I created for you. It's a free guide. It's called Earn 5K per month on repeat. 5 simple steps that help you figure out what you should build to get that reoccurring income flowing. And it's not just what everybody else is building. It's what makes sense for your business. Because here's the truth. You don't need more information. You need to see your specific path forward. That is clarity, and that's what this guide does. So text the word freedom to 55444 and I will send it straight to you. Again, that's freedom to 55444. It's time to stop listening to all the things and start building. Okay, but definitely keep listening to this one episode, shall we? The point is, the next step is waiting for you in the guide. So take action, get that guide sent to you, and let's build something together. All right, back to the episode. How many times have you seen someone say, I know the secret to going viral on TikTok or Instagram, or I make all my money on Instagram or social media. And frankly, I'm reading a book called Virality, which is phenomenal. And there's no hidden truths there. I recommend the book for sure. But what I feel like I've been on a hamster wheel chasing, and I feel like many of you as well have experienced this, is this notion that it's not that we just don't know something about the algorithm, right? We're just missing something that's keeping us from being able to succeed on social media. Now, is that to say that certain people haven't gone viral? Absolutely. I feel like there are just these amazing souls in the world who get, like, think of it like a windfall of success. And there could have been strategy behind it as well. But it's not always duplicatable. And it's not always duplicatable for everybody else because we interpret it differently. But there is a certain thing that I've learned over all these years that is just a baseline truth. So I'm going to lay it out for you today. And you don't need to buy any more courses or any more things related to social media unless you want some help with implementing. Okay, that's where I think the value is. If you are a busy entrepreneur and you need help building a system to be consistent on social media. There's value there. But if you're trying to invest in a quick fix, that's when there's a red flag. Anytime you are doing something with hopes of an instant return or a fast windfall, that should be a red flag right there, that you are going down a bunny trail that is probably going to leave you where you are right now, but with less money. So consider this my public service announcement to you. So let's talk more about social media. Is it true that there are trends, that there are hacks to going viral? Yes, I've used them. In fact, I have a post on Instagram right now that still keeps getting hits. I think I've had 12,000 clicks on it or something, which is insane for my tiny account. But I've gone viral there. I went viral on a reel, but those don't always translate into followers. In fact, if I look at the people who have liked this one post that's going bananas, those are not my people. Okay. I mean, it worked great. It got onto the For You page, Instagram boosted it. Hey, happy day. Virality should not be the end game. Okay. What we want is consistency, and we want people who want to be in our network, who are excited to hear from us, who want to be in our DMs, okay? Whether we're DMing them or they're DMing us. You want people who are engaging because they want to be there. Now, that doesn't happen necessarily with virality. And it also doesn't happen when you're creating content that doesn't match. And a lot of times what's happening is these content creators that are teaching you how to go viral, they're teaching you systems and strategies that worked for them. And you have to then interpret that and make it yours. And that's where it can be helpful, because sometimes it's helpful to just have a hook to get your brain going. So, I mean, I definitely see the value in those things for sure. But what my point is the intention. Your intention is to grow on social media with people who want to be nurtured by you in that space. And that is simple. There's a simple solution here. And this is true for every platform. What I'm about to tell you is true for every platform. Meta, YouTube, TikTok. It doesn't matter what platform you are on. This is the same truth. Okay, we're going to break it down. So, false narrative, the shit, is chasing after virality, chasing after things that are windfall, or somehow we have this belief that if we just get famous on some platform, it's going to solve all our problems. Okay. That's the energy, and that's the strategy we do not want to embrace. The legit strategy is simply this: feed the algorithm what it wants that aligns with what you do. Okay. The bottom line is, who controls the algorithm? The viewers, the content, the consumers of content. They are your market. So yes, in the beginning, it's going to take some forethought, quantity, because you got to flush out what works, what jives, who responds. And yes, there is certain strategy to converting also. But initially, just to grow your following and to build a network of people who are your people on social media, step one is to figure out what the algorithm wants, what the people want, and give them more of that. The other piece of this strategy is to say the same thing over and over and over. This is the part I personally struggle with the most because I find it boring, but also because I feel like everybody else will find it boring. But if you start to follow even these large accounts, and I don't even just mean follow them, go to their account page and open up their very latest post and then just work backwards. You're going to see they're saying the same stuff. It's like Mexican food. It's the same ingredients. They're just put together a little differently. Okay. Once they figure out what their main topic is, it used to be we would talk about 3 pillars of content. No, my friends, you want one pillar, one thing. Yes, can you tie a personal story into it? Yes, but it's the same thing. Can you talk about business? Yes, it's the same thing. Can you talk about a transformation? They can get a mini transformation? Yes, but it's the same thing. This is what is working on every channel, okay? And the reason is this. People want to follow you for you, so be real, obviously, but also they want to get the same message from you. They're following you because of you and because of the message. It's the two things together. That's the recipe. And that equals an engaged, loyal follower. Okay. Think about yourself. I mean, who have you followed that you were really into, but either they start, for example, I can think of a lot of meta pages that I think were sold. There was this one I used to follow, something about avocados and health. And it was about health. And then all of a sudden it just got very clickbait-ish. And I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. So I unfollowed. So it's the same concept. People will follow you because they want the same content. So even though it feels annoying, it is what people want. And it's how you get the job done. Now, when it comes to gathering followers, obviously there's strategies like, doing outreach, connecting with other people, commenting on relevant posts. All of that stuff is actually very effective. What is it called? It's called building relationships. Gee, what a concept. I think this is the piece, though, that so many people think. We think our relationship is with the algorithm, but really the relationship is with people. And when we remember that, boy, doesn't it change everything? In fact, the number one way I grow is slow and steady, but I found that the people I connect with on social media are people I talk to on my podcast. They're people I built a relationship with, and it's so much better. Now when they show up on my feed, I recognize them. I'm like, ooh, I know this person. I like what they're doing. Yay. Makes me feel good, and I'm sure it does the same for them when they see stuff from me. Okay, because now we have a relationship, even though we've only ever talked for 30 or 60 minutes, right? The bottom line is the algorithm is not some robot that we're trying to hack. It's not a secret like insider trading recipe that we need to know in order to win. This isn't the lottery. This is simple. Social media is simple. You have one message that your people want to hear. You're solving one problem. I know I'm a broken record, aren't I? I feel like I've been talking about this all year. Well, okay. For the last year. And it's talking to one human, right? And you're going to find the world has a lot of one humans. What I mean by that is when you're making your content for one ideal person, obviously there's hundreds or thousands of people who relate to that one person. And that's the people you will attract. And they will be there for the relationship. That's what this is about. We're feeding the people who dictate the only thing the algorithm cares about besides the people is keeping them on their platform. Okay. So what can kill your metrics is links off the platform. Those types of things. YouTube, a winning strategy on YouTube, and now Instagram and Facebook too. You can link other reels, right? They want to keep people engaged on their platform. They want to dominate attention. That's it. There's the secret. Now you know. All right. So we've done a pretty good job today, I think, of fleshing out the legit from the shit when it comes to going viral and the important, how to win at social media. Absolutely, you can chase some strategies and grow, but here's what will happen. When you switch gears and start focusing on content that's genuine and aligned and more in alignment with who you are and what you're here for, you'll lose a bunch of those followers. I've seen it happen. I've helped strategize on accounts and they start creating content that makes sense for their brand. Why? Because it wasn't converting. They came to me because our content wasn't converting. Well, when we start making content that is aligned to convert, because it's talking to the right audience instead of just the focus on growing a channel, all of a sudden people bounce. But we start to see growth. When you stick with it, you start to see growth of people who actually want to be there and convert. Okay? By the way, feel free to fact check me. I did a fact check. This was my thought today. I thought, I'm going to do this topic today. And then I went on Claude and I said, hey, what's the real story? And sure enough, everything I was about to say was true. So I was like, yep, all right. That's the episode today. My friends, I'm so grateful for you joining the show today. Thank you. And as always, I look forward to connecting with you on the Freedom Entrepreneur online business community on Facebook. That's where we can have a relationship. Okay, until then, until next time, bye for now.